Oh, yeah.
Fish on.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Good night. Look at that tank.
That's a toad, brother.
Golly.
All righty, sir. Well, welcome. How you doing, man?
Good. Just got off the lake, so feel real good, man.
Got off the lake, man. I'm planning on being on the lake up in that area tomorrow, so we're going to see how that works out for us.
Hey, I might meet you on the same lake.
There you go. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what we got going on, like maybe even a couple upcoming events and things like that.
Man, we're going to talk about that on another live. Okay. I will say this. We just added 2 events. You guys can go check out the schedule. You can go check out the trail page. You can go check out Bass Thumbs Fishing. I think he's going to be dropping the announcement here pretty soon. But we just added 2 events out in the state of California. And I'm going to leave it at that and let you guys go look for it. So, investing in the West. We're continuing to do it. In fact, the series that we just partnered with is actually sponsored by HOBIE, which has got a lot to do with this whole conversation. So, first and foremost, if you came here because you thought tonight was going to be a bunch of drama, I hate to disappoint you. If you say to yourself, dude, then why did you do the title that way? You're probably at least about 50% right. I did the title because I wanted to get people's attention. And unfortunately, we live in a world where if you put out something great, it gets ignored. But if you put out something that's like, ooh, then a whole bunch of people tune in. Okay. And so the reason I wanted to have this conversation is I'm at a point in my spot in my life and in my career and in where we're at with KBF and how I see this community that I'm over the drama. I hate the word drama because the drama, actually it's not drama. I'm over the toxicity. Okay. There's a lot of people in this sport that consider themselves pros. And for a long time, I actually thought they were pros for HOBIE, and I felt like they spoke on behalf of HOBIE. So therefore, to a certain extent, admittedly, I even at least internally vilified HOBIE for some of the things that those people were saying. What I've learned over the years is that, you know, when you become a pro, everything you say matters. When you become a professional, you're under a microscope. The one thing that I can say I've always done as Chad Hoover and as KBF is owned whatever I've done. Mm-hmm. If we've had a hard time making payouts because of whatever the reason, we own it. If I've gone and lost my mind on social media because I was in a crazy mind space. In fact, some knucklehead the other day sent me a clip of something that I said on social media a few years ago with like a little thing like he was threatening me. Like, I'm going to post this. Post it. I own everything I've ever done. I apologize for it if it's necessary and if it's genuine. If I don't feel as though I should apologize for something, I don't apologize for it simply to cater to cancel culture or any of this other crap. So there's a lot of stuff in my past that I've done. My response to that knucklehead was, or that guy was, knucklehead's a term of endearment. This person wasn't very endearing. I said, man, thanks for sharing that. It's awesome to see how far I've come. You know what I mean? And that really was what that was about. And I really think that we've gotten in a place in this world where it's hard to have healthy dialogues.
Right.
Everything is, if you do this, you can't do that. If you believe this, then you can't believe that. And that's why I stay out of the political stuff. That's why I don't make my platform, you know, I feel like I have to use my platform for this. What my platform is for is to get butts in boats, to get more people into kayak fishing. And so I've had some great conversations with the CEO of HOBIE. I had a great conversation with the CEO of HOBIE. I had a great conversation, or a couple of great conversations with Morgan from HOBIE. And I've had a couple of really great conversations with AJ that runs the HOBIE Bass Open Series. And admittedly, in the past, we've had our issues. A lot of those issues were perpetuated by misinformation. In fact, just the other day on our last conversation, he said, hey, while we're having this man-to-man discussion, got a question for you about something. And I said, okay, what is it? I heard this. And I'm like, dude, that's preposterous. Like, that's not even possible. But had he not been man enough to have a conversation with me, or adult enough. I should stop saying man up or whatever. Had he not been adult enough, then he wouldn't have, he wouldn't ask that question. Had we both not been adult enough to, have this conversation, then those things wouldn't have got discussed, and it could have got blown out of proportion. And I think a lot of that's happened over the years, because there are certain people that anoint themselves leaders that don't lead. All they do is they create division, because if they can create controversy and they're at the center of it, they feel like they're the ones controlling the narrative. And it's our fault as a community for allowing those people to get a foothold. Mm-hmm. It's our fault for responding to it. It's our fault for perpetuating it. For a couple of years, it was my fault for locking horns with these people and giving it a platform. And I shouldn't have done that. And again, I've moved past that. I've dealt with a lot of stuff in my life. And then through that process of dealing with that stuff, I've had moments where I was very emotional online. I've had moments where I was very angry online. I've had, but the one thing you're going to get from me is all that stuff comes from a place of passion, passionate about this sport, about the fact that, hopefully I do it about as much as anybody out there. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I'm very blessed in my life that I get to do it more than most, because it's what I do for a living. There's also this weird narrative out there like, oh, KBF's a business. So is HOBIE. So is Old Town. So is Bassmaster. So is everybody that's providing you a service. The question is that service worth what you're paying for? That's a question you have to answer. And that's what's called a value proposition. So I feel like, and we're very proud of the fact that KBF, we offer a really good value proposition. I think that HOBIE offers a really good value proposition. And I think that, let me actually back up a little bit. I think as a person who is very brand centric, a marketing person by nature, that's what I do for a living. It's impressive to see what HOBIE's done with their brand. They have a very loyal following. I think to a certain extent, sometimes when you have a loyal following, you have people that take it to an extreme. But what I had to come to the realization of is that those people don't speak for HOBIE. Those people speak for themselves. And when I spoke to HOBIE, people who actually own the company like I own mine, people who actually make the decisions like I do, and like Christy does, and like the people that work at KBF do, I realize we're pretty much on the same page. Right. We want to grow the sport. We want to provide opportunities. When I found out HOBIE was going to do a college series, at first I was miffed. I was like, come on, man. Then I realized, wait a minute, I don't have to be mad. What I was mad about is that we're going to divide the base. So it's real easy. I'll just not do my college series, throw my support behind the HOBIE college series, focus on the online college series to get these folks more used to catch, photo, release. Mm-hmm. I'll focus on that. I'll focus on pushing the high school series, and then I'll push my support to what HOBIE's doing. Numerous cities have called me, hey, HOBIE's thinking about coming here, but we've already got a relationship with you. I'm like, you should bring them. They have great turnouts. They have a great deal. They have a great following that, you should totally do it. Companies that have asked me, hey, we're thinking about sponsoring HOBIE, but we sponsor you. What do you think? I'm like, go for it. Specifically Far Wide for the Angler of the Year thing. Like I told that guy, you need to do it. But the problem is I've sat back and I've let people, these people who have an agenda, who are trying to not trying necessarily to tear me down, because I did take it personal for a long time. But when I backed out, I realized that a lot of these folks are like hyenas, right? It's whatever the thing is at the time they're going to cackle about. And then when that gazelle is consumed, then they're going to run over here. You remove the gazelle from the equation, then they actually start turning on each other. So it's our fault for feeding them the gazelles. It's our fault for listening to them. It's our fault for hearing them. So I've got a commitment from HOBIE, from the top down, from the CEO to Morgan to AJ to everybody, that they're not tolerating any bashing, any KBF bashing, any other brand bashing, any individual angler bashing, none of that stuff. Whether you're on the national team, whether you're on a store team, whether you're on any of that. So we've got this weird, group of people that constantly like to fire things up. They constantly, like to ring the bell, and they consider themselves pros. Here's what you are if you're a pro. You're somebody that is respected and somebody that shows respect, and you're a resource, okay? And by being a resource, people can learn something from you. People can gain something from you. They can get knowledge from you. They can get motivation from you. You take whatever the thing is, and a pro is a resource to provide that to the people that follow them, that respect them, that whatever. And respect goes both ways. If you don't act respectful, if you don't act either way towards individuals, towards brands, towards the sport itself, you're not a pro. So in my mind, the R in pros stands for respect and resource. And if you take the R out of pros, you can do the math on what you got left. Okay. And so again, I'm not here to throw shade. What I'm here to do is say this: stop perpetuating the nonsense of people who anoint themselves a leader, because leaders don't tear down what other people do. They do things and make it better. Right. Jumping on somebody else's coattails and saying, oh, they're better than them because they do this, and you don't do it, you're not a leader. If you want to be better, if you want to be a leader, make something better. Do something. Getting on your keyboard isn't doing something. It's like the social justice warriors that think they're actually doing something because they post on Instagram. The only thing you're doing when you post on Instagram is posting on Instagram. That's it. The internet is undefeated. Most people, by the time they go to the internet, have already made up their mind where their position is. So here I am doing the same thing. That's why this video is not going to be an hour tonight. It's going to be very short. I'm done. Hobie's done. We're all done with this toxicity of trying to tear each other down. I've got commitments from every major brand that they're on board with this. I might become one of the screenshotters moving forward and say, hey, by the way, here's one of your pros not representing your company as a pro. Right. Because it's my job to help clean the sport up. And I got a broom. I'm ready. The other thing that's always perplexed me is there's this group of people who will go online and perpetually bash anything that I do. Okay. It's kind of funny because everything that I do, they react to. Everything that I do, they respond to. Everything that we do at KBF, they talk about. So it's like, okay, thanks for watching. Thanks for all of the attention that you get. Thanks for sharing. It's the Howard Stern effect. Don't matter if you're talking good or talking bad, you're talking about me. And they can't help themselves. So it's fine. But here's the deal. It's time to flip it the other way. Okay. And I'm going to leave it at that. But here's what I'm going to finish with. If you're going to bash what we do, if you're going to get toxic about what we do at KBF, stop coming to my events. Stop coming to our events. I never can understand why I see a person or somebody tells me what they said, or I see a screenshot, because I don't go looking for it. I spend 1 hour a day on Facebook now. If I get to you, I get to you. I set an alarm, and if I pause it at 20 minutes, I got 40 minutes left, but that's my window. Okay. That's it. I put it away. I've had to do that for my mental health, for my well-being, to not get triggered, to stay sane and to focus more on fishing, because fishing is supposed to be fun. This community is supposed to be fun. What really breaks my heart is when people go, man, I really wanted to get into kayak fishing, but I went to this page or that page, and dude, I don't want to be part of this community. It's a bunch of whining, complaining, toxic people. And unfortunately, the squeaky wheel is the one that gets the grease. The squeaky wheel is the one that people hear. So yeah, there is no Hobie versus KBF. There's only people who want to perpetuate Hobie versus KBF. And so I'm calling you out. Stop. If you want to do it, there's going to be consequences on both sides. If you're KBF supporters, I love you, but stop bashing Hobie, because it's going to be the same way. Okay. But if you're going to bash KBF and you're going to bash what we do, stop coming to the events. You're not welcome. Don't talk out of one side of your neck and then show up to my event and let me hand you a check. That's what we call a hypocrite in the real world. That's what adults call a hypocrite. You know what I'm saying? So it's real simple. This is all common sense stuff. I'm not literally going out of the world. And here's the other thing. I'm going to say this for the record. I think Hobie has done a fantastic job of building a tournament series. They've done a fantastic job of being able to mobilize their pro staff. It's awesome to be able to get an immediate ramp up of signups because your entire pro staff is engaged. It'd be awesome if every brand could pull that off. But Hobie has done a really good job over the years of doing that. And actually, AJ pointed this out to me. Hobie has always done events, whether it was in the sailboat world, whether it was in the rec world, whether it was in the Hobie worlds, all of that good stuff. So I've got a commitment from Hobie that we're going to work together as best we can to do some cross promotional stuff, to get rid of this toxicity, to get rid of all the crap that's out there. And we're going to make kayak fishing fun again. We're going to get away from all this crap, because if we don't, it's our fault for letting these people be the voice of our sport.
Right.
And with that, I'm done. Y'all have a good night. That's all
everybody. That's it. Drop the
Love
mic and walk on out.
Love y'all. I'll see you
Take-
fishing sometime.
All right. Take it easy, brother.
Night.
Hey guys, I'm Chad Hoover with Kayak Bass Fishing. If you're looking to get in on the exciting sport of kayak fishing yourself, check out kayakbassfishing.com. Yeah! Boom! Oh, yes! What a freaking toad. So whether you want to find out more about competitive kayak fishing and kayak fishing tournaments,